On this Sunday, November 10th episode, I'm going to be delivering an urgent XRP pump warning. We're going to be talking about these markets that have gone absolutely crazy over this past week. I warned about the Trump pump, and we're also going to be talking about this Trump transition team, who's actually going to be helping this new administration roll out a new financial system, who's claiming that they're part of the Trump transition team. We're going to talk about it in today's update. Let's get started right here, though. Real quick, though, I couldn't do it without you guys. I really couldn't. I want to say thank you for all the support, whether you're just liking the content, that's free, sharing it out's free, or if you're using our community resources that I have linked up in the description of all of our videos or at zachrector.com. I really do appreciate your support. Let's get started right here. A little bit of caution from Mr. I think he's onto something too, and I've been sharing a similar sentiment. People be way too bullish right now. Most clearly don't know what measures desperate people take when losing it all. And I'm kind of seeing the same thing in our Discord group. We've been talking about it too. It just feels too smooth, too peaceful of a transition of power so far. We know that the enemy's getting exposed. We know how they play. It's not fair. It's not nice. And this is why I think that we're all in a positive spirit. The vibes are good. The market's pumping, but we're keeping our head on a swivel. That's what's important. But let's get bullish just for a moment. So we're taking a look right now. Bitcoin did break above 80,000. We saw Bitcoin actually break above 81 earlier today, up to about 81.5, give or take, you know, depending on which exchange you're looking at. But I'm looking at my KuCoin chart right here to 81,464 Bitcoin, give or take. And right now we're watching as Bitcoin has broken back above 80,000 as I record this update. It's about 3:45 on the West Coast, almost 7 o'clock Eastern. Ethereum did pierce through 3,200. We just seen green candles across the board. And don't for a second think that XRP's been left behind. We're right here. We're right here in the mix of things. And as I've been showing you guys, XRP had already pumped 17% since the Trump confirmation victory. That was up to 57 cents, but we weren't done. We went all the way up to 62 cents this morning. And so that's a 26% move for XRP since Trump has been confirmed. That's the lows just before the election to the highs that we just hit. That's a 26% move for XRP. So don't let anybody tell you that XRP is getting left behind this bull run. It definitely ain't the case. Now, I look across this list of cryptos that I've had my eyes on, cryptos that I already own some of, and some that I was looking to pick up more positions, and they're all moving. So we take a look right here, XLM, one that I hold, and one that we saw pierce through 11 cents earlier here today. How big of a move is this for XLM from this peak to trough here? 27%. So right in tandem with XRP, another one that I've been watching here is Flare. Let's measure the gains that we got on Flare. And I'm just, measuring roughly from basically the lows before the election right to the pump that we got here today. That's a 25% move for Flare. How about XDC? Those are some big green candles. Let's take a look at it. Right here, back above 3 cents for XDC. About a 16% move. Algorand at 14.5 cents. That's good. Solana back above 200 right now. The SAY token back up to 46 cents. These are all, the SAY token here. Full disclosure, I did just enter a very, very small position on Doge. Just to, throw my hat in the mix there. 27 cent Doge. And I've been saying that Doge for me, it's going to about $1, right? There's going to be big sell pressure at $1. And so, I just entered a position on Doge here just within the last 30 minutes. And I'm going to be looking to sell off that position as we get towards $1. I'll just tell you that right now. I'm not sticking around to see Doge try to go above $1. I'm going to be hitting the exits before we get there. And that's going to, kind of relate to what I'm going to be issuing as far as my XRP pump warning later in this episode. A couple more cryptos that I did want to show you here. Bitcoin Cash. I did pick up a position on this when I started to read Roger Ver's book, or listen to his audiobook, I should say, on hijacking Bitcoin. I did make a little move into Bitcoin Cash there at about $370. And now it's at $441, up to about $450. So this move here for Bitcoin Cash, about 41% from before the election to where we're at right now. About a 40% move for Bitcoin Cash. Now, this SUI token has been pumping. It broke above $3 here today. It's in price discovery right now. I don't buy tops, so I'm skipping out on this one right now. But one thing that I will note is the strength of the community, the development that's been taking place over there, and the activity. It makes sense why this coin has been a top performer so far. Now, as I'm going to talk about here with the Trump transition team, Cardano pumping up to over 65 cents on the news, or the rumor or the claim from Charles Hoskinson that he's going to be involved in the Trump transition team and the Trump administration, and he's going to be going to set up an office in DC and focusing a lot of his efforts on crypto regulation in the United States, which that's good. That's positive. I'm glad to see that. And we got about 105% move for Cardano since before the election, to where we just went up to about 65 cents. Right now, Cardano's at about 588 on the Cardano. We'll be watching that one here closely. This is what I'm talking about right here. Cardano founder to work with the Trump administration on crypto policy in 2025. Now, this is what's being reported. If you listen to this full clip here, this is a segment from a live show that he did. He does apologize to the XRP army. He wants to come together, and that's all great. I'm going to talk about the problem with that here in a second. I'm just going to play the first 60 seconds of this clip, though, so you guys can listen to him explain how, he's saying basically that he wants to have a role in DC. Doesn't directly say that he's going to be part of the Trump transition team, but he's kind of throwing that idea out there. Listen in here on just this 60 seconds.
Second, a large part of my time in 2025 will also be devoted to the political process. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time working with lawmakers in Washington, D.C., and quite a bit of time working with members of the administration to help foster and facilitate with other key leaders in industry the crypto policy. We have to do this, and we have to get it done. There's a very high probability that the Republicans will control not only the Senate and the presidency, but also the Congress, the House. And in the process of doing so, this is the best opportunity we have ever had in the history of the industry to get clarity for our industry and remove the sword of Damocles that the SEC has reigned over the Cardano ecosystem, Ripple ecosystem, the Ethereum ecosystem, reigned over Solana, reigned over all the major ecosystems, and actually including Bitcoin in many respects.
So Cardano founder here, Charles Hoskinson, wants to make peace with the XRP army, and that's great. I that's fine. I never had an issue with Charles. I don't care if somebody doesn't like our token or says a joke about our token. That's fine. As long as you can take it, I don't have any problem with somebody who gives it, right? But here's the problem. The problem is that Charles was in on Ethereum from the very beginning. And the problem is what took place at Ethereum and who's been controlling Ethereum since the very beginning. The problem with this is it relates back to this whole story. He talks about this is now the best opportunity to get clarity. Well, one of the problems and the reasons why we don't have clarity yet is because of this ETH free pass and ETH gate, this whole thing that the XRP army uncovered. And we had to because we were attacked. We had to defend ourselves against the SEC. It just so happened to be that when we started to dig, we found the corruption. The corruption within the SEC, the corruption within Ethereum, the disguised whales, and you guys know the whole story. And I wasn't going to say anything, but Cowboy Crypto did. So I'm going to show you guys what he said. Timely apology from Charles, who has also been collaborating with Wang Chain, I guess, who is backed by none other than Wang Sheng. You guys have heard that one before, right? Same founder who was on board of the SEC-approved Prometheum. Remember, the first platform that could offer digital asset securities. What was the first crypto that they listed? The first digital asset security that they listed, I should say? Ethereum. Wang Sheng was brought on board to Ethereum when they funded the Ethereum Foundation prior to mainnet launch because they were broke. I'm going to tell you something. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And let me tell you that there is a smoking gun evidence what Cowboy Crypto is alluding to right there. Charles' involvement in the Ethereum Foundation and what he knew and what he didn't speak out on when he had an opportunity. When he had an opportunity to call out the influence from China and others in Ethereum that ended up, moving to capture the entire digital asset space. This was a move for regulatory capture to give Ethereum the free pass and then 2 years later sue XRP and Ripple, the only crypto that's been able to dethrone Ethereum. Think about that for a second. And think about the fact that Brad Garlinghouse keeps reminding us of that Ethereum, one, got dethroned by XRP, but then you also saw Brad put out the little jab. He said, Bitcoin and XRP have clarity, but Mr. Trump, maybe we could get some clarity on Ethereum, right? And so the only crypto to dethrone Ethereum was XRP. They give ETH a free pass, then they sue Ripple. You guys know the whole story. The problem is Charles stayed quiet this whole time. So the guy who knew Ethereum was controlled by China's influence, Wang Sheng and others, we don't know all the disguised whales. We just know that there was many, and we do know that some of those whales were directly out of China. So when given an opportunity to speak out on this and to help create a level playing field here in America, Charles was silent. Now that it's time for everybody to come together, sing Kumbaya, and he wants a position within the Trump administration, I don't know what exactly that role would be, but he wants to, be there. Now it's time for us to get to work, come together, and root out the corruption at the SEC. My only problem is that he's been silent. He still doesn't like to talk about the early days at Ethereum and why he left. I mean, he's spoken about it in spaces somewhat. But until, and I would just urge caution to the Trump administration before, and by the way, I know that Team Trump has seen our story. And we know this because Stuart Alderati tweeted it out. We also know this because a little birdie told me that they've been given some of the evidence that we've collected for the XRP documentary. But Stu confirmed it in this one when he said, you took the time to listen to Ripple's story when we met in San Francisco this summer, right? So we know that Trump knows about this whole story of the SEC suing Ripple. To the extent that he knows about ETHgate, who knows? There's a lot on his table, right? But the point being, I think that we need to vet out Charles a little bit. I appreciate the sentiment of wanting to apologize to the XRP army. He wants to make peace. That's great. We could be a power couple. We really could. Cardano, good stuff. They're building. They're doing good stuff. A very strong community. Not as strong as the XRP army, but you're close. I'll give them credit. And I respect it. I've always said that I love what Charles has to say. On basically everything besides XRP. Right. I love. He's basically a strong libertarian, conservative, pro-America, pro-innovation. A lot of his philosophies and whatnot, I agree with. Pro-capitalist. I really like Charles. I really do. Always respected him. I just think that there might need to be a little bit of vetting done by the Trump team. We just need some answers. Some questions need to be answered from Charles, And I would hope that maybe Charles can be a part of exposing this, acknowledging what took place. And even if he has to apologize for not speaking out on it sooner, we have an opportunity to make this right. And that's what we all want. All we ever wanted was that level playing field. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, in regards to this Trump administration, Trump team, Trump transition team, I really do hope that we get to see Brad play a role, and I expect that he will be. I expect that Brad, Stu are going to be spending a lot of time in D.C. Now, remember that they already set up an office there in D.C., right? Ripple already set up an office back in D.C. That was back in like 2019. Funny, right before they got sued, go figure. So they try to come on in, they try to go set up an office there in D.C., and our SEC still sued them. Go figure. But as Brad stated right here, he says, I've shared some thoughts on what the Trump administration could mean for crypto and wanted to also recognize the XRP family's patience and unwavering support. A lot has happened since XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. Like I said, he keeps on reminding us of when we dethroned Ethereum. A lot has happened since XRP was the second most valuable digital asset. It's been, at times, a frustrating journey. 6 years since the SEC started meddling in the crypto market, picking winners and losers. 4 years since the SEC sued Ripple. And now finally we see a light at the end of the tunnel as these external and frankly unnatural and manipulative market factors fade. The tides are shifting, headwinds are turning to tailwinds, and the opportunity for those of us who believe in the future for XRP is enormous. Now, you guys have probably already seen this tweet, but I'm just reminding us. This, along with that to-do list that he issued to Trump, that public tweet that he put out, just along with the other tweets and sentiment that he's been sharing, right? Just the appearance on BBC last week, right? You can tell that Brad's gone so bullish. You can tell that he now basically feels free to speak about this Trump administration and how bullish this is going to be. Right? Ripple did a good job remaining neutral. Stu donated to Trump. Chris Larson donated to Kamala. Now this is over, and we get to, go play our role in establishing this new financial system with the Trump administration. So is Charles going to be part of the Trump transition team? I don't know, and I actually think that he would be good. He would be good. I just want some questions answered because it relates back to this whole story of corruption that we've been on top of, right? So after we get some questions answered from Charles, let's go do it. Go put in some work in DC. You're a good guy, good community, good stuff. Let's go do it. But I think we need to vet him out a little bit. Now, when it comes to Brad and the team at Ripple, I think that they're also going to play a major role in this transition team. And look at how Cardano pumped after it was announced, or at least after Charles claimed to be part of the Trump administration. What do you think is going to happen to XRP when it gets announced that Ripple's working, right? That Ripple's role with their ROUSD. So I think that type of announcement is coming for Ripple, whether that's Brad, whether that's Ripple just, building or expanding the office there in DC. I think that that's coming, and I think that is going to be one of many catalysts that ends up pushing XRP up. Now, I'm already running a little bit long here on this, and so I just want to deliver this XRP pump warning real quickly here before I wrap up this episode, which is to say that I'm already seeing tweets, and I've already been seeing this, and I've already been reporting it, and I've already been warning about this. But I wanted to take the opportunity here once again today to remind everybody. There's not many buyers of XRP at $5 to $10. Now, some of you guys are probably saying, well, that's obvious. No, I really think that our community needs to understand this. There is going to be big pullbacks as we go into price discovery. Just like with Bitcoin right now, I've been saying the order book's thin above 80,000. The advantage that Bitcoin has is that it has governments, it has, big whales like Michael Saylor that are still buying. But the big one is the ETFs are providing exit liquidity for the Bitcoin community right now. The Bitcoin inflows are basically have been record setting. That's helped Bitcoin fill that order book above 75,000. The order book is still thin. I don't think that Bitcoin has much to go. And like I said, I'm still keeping my head on a swivel. I'm worried about what's coming here, between now and Trump's inauguration. But in the meantime, back to our point, XRP is already starting to move. XRP is going to pump. You need to have your XRP exit strategy ready to go. I have my XRP exit strategy linked up down below if you want to watch and see what my targets are, what I'm doing. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but I will share what I'm doing. That is available for purchase down in the description of this video. But the point being, whether you watch my XRP exit strategy or just go develop your own, or you go, whatever you're doing, you need to sit down. You need to write it out, and you need to figure out how you think this is really going to play out. Because it's easy to sit back and just wait and say, hey, the banks are going to buy my bags of XRP, and that's who I'm going to sell off my XRP to at $50 or $589. But we have a long ways to go between where we're at right now here at 58, almost 60 cents, to the new all-time high into the $3-4 range. There's so many people waiting to hit the exits at $2 and at that $4 to $5 range. When we go into all-time high territory, that back into all-time high, people are going to be hitting the exits. It's just like with Bitcoin right now. The order book's thin. And the reason why I wanted to issue this as a warning is because if we don't have ETFs live, if we don't have banks and institutions using the XRPL in a major way, if we haven't flipped the switch, if we don't have regulations, and we get XRP pumping to $3, $4, $5, right, we're going to see folks hitting the exits, and we're going to see a significant pullback. So please just be prepared for that. I'm not saying that you need to sell off all of your bag. I'm just telling you to prepare yourself for us to hit some bumps along this pump. Whether we're going up to $5, $10, $20, you guys can drop your predictions in the comments down below. But be ready with your XRP plan and your plan for the rest of these cryptos as well, because this thing is moving. It's moving quickly. And I want to make sure that you guys are able to take profits on the projects that you anticipate taking profits on. With that being said, if you guys appreciate our content, make sure you guys have liked the video. Help me out by sharing it out far and wide. and everything else is at my website, zachrector.com. God bless you all and have a fantastic Sunday. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday morning. Let's get it. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.